In a studio that's in a basement comes the epic story of how two friends changed the future of the movie podcast game forever. The reviews are in. Boys Life magazine gives the High Sci podcast 4.5 acorns. The Daily Bugle says, these guys are super legit. And Pope Francis declares the podcast as life-affirming. From the kid who tried to get smart with David Spade and got fucking old.
You're still out. You're still back.
And the guy who can name all four Baldwin brothers.
Alec, William, Daniel, and the baby boy, Stephen.
Live from the studio of his parents' basement. The Have You Seen It podcast.
Welcome back to the Have You Seen It podcast. My name is Mason Knight, and sitting across from me is Cash Kraus. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Good to be back. How was your weekend?
It was good.
Yeah.
It was eventful.
Was it? Yeah, you had a lot going on this weekend.
Yeah, a lot of things going on this weekend.
Very busy. Not a lot of time to relax.
Right.
But somehow we managed to get a TV show in there.
As we always do.
So we can come here and talk on our TV Tuesday.
It was. I know. I had to cram. I had to text you today. I was like, hey, I'm gonna be an hour late. I gotta finish this thing up. So
yes.
It is fresh off the brain.
So we are starting a new TV Tuesday. Our last TV Tuesday. What was our last TV Tuesday? That was because we took 1 week off. Oh, it was Dead Like Me.
Oh, Dead
to Me.
Dead to Me. You still say Dead Like Me.
At least I could remember it. Man, we were really drawing a blank there.
Yeah,
it's only been 1 week. But so we're done with that.
Yep.
This week we're starting something new. We are starting the Witcher TV series on Netflix.
It is on Netflix, and this is their big...
Yeah.
This is the thing that's going to carry them. I mean, this has been...
it was highly talked about 6 months ago when it came out.
People say it's supposed to be the new Game of Thrones.
And, of course, we are fashionably late on it.
We are.
Now that everyone has watched
it.
We're going to come in and try to revive it.
Well, of course. That's what you got to do.
Try to get it going again. But, yeah, The Witcher, based on the book series by the same name by Andrea... It's as
you were really close. Try that one more time.
It's as Polish as it gets when it comes to name. Andrzej Sapkowski.
There, that was perfect. Literally perfect. I don't
Very
think you
Polish,
can get any
just so
better.
Polish. But it's produced. The showrunner is Lauren Schmidt-Hissrich, which is a female.
It is a
female showrunner. But I have played the Witcher series. I played Witcher 2 and 3. Have not read any of the books, so I'm nowhere near an expert. But you haven't played the series or read the book, so you're coming in this very
cold as
fresh.
can be. I have no idea as far as timelines, characters, because I've never played video games or read the books.
Yeah, and it doesn't really do me a lot of good because I played The Witcher 3, which is the latest in the series.
Right.
And this isn't based off of any of that. This is based off of 2 books, The Last Wish and Sword of Destiny, and that's a series of short stories that precede any of the Witcher games. Yeah, so it doesn't really help me much.
No, not
I
at all.
recognize all the characters, so it's kind of cool going in because once you play the series, these characters are already established. So watching the series is cool because you see who they are and how they kind of meet up. Because this is really kind of the origin story of Geralt and Yennefer and Ciri and all that. Yeah. So you really get into that.
Yeah, definitely for Yennefer. I don't think you can start more low than that, right?
Oh yeah,
Getting
and
sold
Ciri
for
as well.
marks?
Yeah. We never know much about Geralt until the very last episode. We get a snippet of his previous life. But
Let me tell you, never a good thing when your mom leaves you and there's a creepy old man coming up to you and say, "I've been waiting for you, boy."
Yeah,
I've been waiting for you,
forest
Jared.
too. Oh, forest man, you want me to come in? Yeah, you're my son now. Oh, what the fuck?
You just see track marks. Your mom's gone. You're like, Mom.
Yeah, she's just counting money as she walks away.
Perfect. Just what I needed.
How many kids have been lost that way?
So many.
How many kids
They
have just
must
been wandered
just
in
sell
the
them
forest,
off.
and then just a man in the forest takes you under his wing, and you're his kid now.
Fear the
Legally,
forest, right?
you're his. It's forest law.
It is forest law.
But yeah. we're jumping all around, but that definitely unfortunately happens. What a rough beginning.
Yeah, seriously.
It's a rough first memory.
Yeah. Poor kid.
But what did you think of Henry Cavill? Because is Henry Cavill playing the antagonist, Geralt of Rivia?
I thought he did fantastic as far as like the character. I mean, I'm probably the worst person to ask that question because again, never played.
But
the
it's
video
just
games
as far as
anything,
acting. What I was acting,
I thought he was awesome.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed him as Gerald.
As Geralt. Gerald. Yeah,
Gerald.
He's not a male, man. But yeah, right. Yeah, as far as the character goes, he's like spot on for the character from the game.
Yeah,
because he's a huge nerd. Everyone kind of found out when he got this role. He's very faithful. He's played the game like 5 times or something.
Jeez.
It's a huge game too. It's like 80 hours. So
what I do know from, I mean, he decently looks like the video game cover,
and he does the voice really well. That deep kind of great. Yeah, he does a really good job. It may sound kind of off-putting when you're hearing it when you haven't played the game, but it's damn near spot on. Yeah, it's like the Batman. It's like Christian Bale's Batman a little bit. But,
okay.
But yeah, should we just jump into it? We'll just
sure.
breeze through the first 4 episodes because this is part 1 of a 2-parter.
It is.
Right? So we'll breeze through. The first episode is The End's Beginning. And you were saying before this, it's very confusing.
The first 2 episodes, I was just like, because again, completely cold, know nothing about this. And I was just like, what is going on? I thought this Renfrey girl was going to be like the lead character in it.
Yeah.
And even the wizard, I thought he was going to be like the main bad guy. And then it just throws you for a loop in like episode 2 and 3.
Well, it's confusing because it's 3 different storylines in 3 different times.
Yes.
So it never establishes that at all until like the very like last few episodes, you start realizing, oh, this all happened in different times and that's all coming together. But it can be hard to remember for sure. I mean, I've watched it twice now. It's definitely easier the second time remembering all the characters and whatnot. Yeah. But yeah, it plays it off, and I like that twist at the very beginning where it plays off like Renfrey is going to be a big character. Mm-hmm. But that is how he gets established as what do they call him, the butcher of where he
butcher of Blaviken.
Blaviken, yeah,
yes.
And in the games, that's how they always introduce him, and you never know why. So
real?
So
that's
this
cool.
is
So
the first
they answered
time.
it
Yeah, so
in the show.
Yeah, right
that's
off the bat, yeah. Because it's kind of because they trick him, or because he meets Renfrey and she's a cursed princess, right. Classic. And then Geralt meets this wizard Strongabor, who's an evil wizard who's killing all these princesses who were cursed, who were born under this
weird eclipse thing.
Weird eclipse. He thinks that these people born under this eclipse are going to end the world. Mm-hmm. So he tries to hire Geralt. Geralt says he's not going for it. I'm not going to kill this little girl. Not really his thing. He kills monsters.
Well, yeah, he likes to stay real neutral when it comes to anything that
he's like
has
Switzerland.
A conscience.
Exactly. Yeah. But except for that Kikimora at the beginning that he fights, he's got no problem slaying that.
No, that's a beast, though. That is a monster.
That was an awesome beginning. I love that to just throw you in there because and it looked really good too. Something they do in the show is a lot of practical effects mixed with CGI, and it looks really good.
It does.
But so he says he's not going to kill her. They end up meeting up because Renfrey kind of counteroffers, say, hey, kill this Strongabor guy, this wizard. And again, Geralt says, I'm not getting involved. He's just there for the coin.
Of course.
Smart Witcher.
Well, hey, you know what?
But she ends up not stopping. He tells her leave town, gives her an ultimatum, says, get the hell out of here or I'm going to have to slay you. She says yes and then doesn't do it. Next thing you know, she's fucking in town, and he's true to his word.
Well,
he cuts her down.
He does cut her down. And didn't they hook up before that too?
I don't know if they hooked up, but they kind of like camped together.
Yeah,
because they found each other in the. I don't know. It's very clear when he fucks someone. It was very. It didn't make it clear in this, but yeah. So he ends up killing her, but against his like wishes. He feels bad about it.
Right.
And then Strongabore comes and he wants to dissect her immediately. He's a weird, creepy wizard.
He's a weird guy. He's into the whole dissecting people.
And Witcher and Geralt's like, no, it's not going to happen. Then the townspeople come, but they only see that he killed like 9 people.
In their town, too.
So, of course, it's a classic. They didn't see anything, but he's pretty much caught red-handed. They just think he went around murdering these people.
And the wizard's antagonizing it, too.
Exactly.
He's just letting it on.
Yeah, because he wants that body. He wants to dissect her, man. He wants that. He wants it for the collection. But yeah, that's pretty much how it all happens and how he gets the name of the Butcher of Blaviken is because they just think he just went on a fucking rampage for no reason. They're not asking questions.
No. They don't ask a lot of questions in that town.
No. Well, it's a simpler time. It's medieval.
Simple people.
Some wizard tells you something, you're buying
Probably
it.
going to take his word for it, yeah.
You have no reason to doubt him. No reason, but while that's happening, we're getting fucking flashbacks of the kingdom of Sintra, and it's being conquered by Nilfgaard.
Yes.
And the queen is Queen Calanthe.
Yeah.
She's got a granddaughter named Ciri. People, fans of the series will obviously know that name, but she's very important.
And anyone who owns an iPhone.
Exactly. Although is that spelled the same way?
No, definitely not.
Okay. Sorry to prod your joke there. But yeah, while they're being attacked, she just sends her off into the fucking into the woods.
Yep.
And that's the best place for a little girl.
I guess.
Well, you don't want to be captured by the Nilfgaardian officers because they're
and that weird guy chasing her.
And the Nilfgaardians came in fucking hot. They came in slashing. Something I love about the show is even compared to Game of Thrones, this show is fucking brutal.
It is brutal, yeah, but it has it's not as serious. The stakes aren't as high for me in this show as it was Game of Thrones.
Well, it's definitely not. I mean, it definitely takes itself serious. Like, there is stakes for sure, end of the world stakes. Yeah. But, it's definitely not like trying to be a real, true, like, medieval story. Right, exactly. Sticking to those rules. It's doing
because it's just it's so much fantasy, too.
And I like that about it, too.
Well, you got to have the video game effect, too. You got to appease all fan bases.
Yeah.
And it does a good job of that.
It does. I mean, as far as video game adaptations go, it's also based on a story, but they take a lot from the video game. Right. They even use the score. It's got to be one of the best video game adaptations. I mean, there's never been a really good video game adaptation like Tomb Raider. I'm
assuming, I've never played the game, but I'm assuming this is good. Because the show overall, for what it is and the style that it is, it works.
It does a really good job. All right, so episode 2, 4 marks. This is when we get introduced to Yennefer.
Yes.
And man, is she a fucking wreck. She's
poor girl.
Awful looking, but they somehow managed to still make her pretty hot. It's very weird. It's very odd because she's got a hump like you wouldn't believe. And it's in all the wrong places.
And it looks like she just got out of the dentist.
Yeah, it looks like she's got kicked by a mule.
Right.
She's got horse face.
Broken jaw that never healed right.
It's bad. But it doesn't stop Istrid from getting in there.
No, not at all.
He sees this odd, deformed girl, and he's going to take advantage.
Well, she just showed up in a portal. You remember that? He's like, where'd you come from?
Where the hell not? Yeah. Why not?
He's like, well, destiny. That is fate,
Win in Rome.
Yeah.
But
how often you get someone dropping in and through a portal?
No.
Never.
And you're hoping she's not going to look a lot like Yennefer in this stage, but you got to take what you get, when life gives you lemons. But yeah, so that we meet Yennefer, and at this stage, she's like a fucking farmhand. She ends up getting sold to Tisha de Vries, very high-powered wizard.
Yes.
She ends up selling her for 2 pennies, 4 marks, like half a pig or something. Well, he wanted 6 for the pig.
Wasn't it 10? And then 4 for her. I was like, geez.
Yeah. So not a great environment, obviously.
No, obviously not. It's probably best that she left that place.
Yeah, but she gets taken to this wizard school where Trish is going to take her under her wing, kind of teach her magic. It's kind of a really less fun Hogwarts.
Yes.
Where the graduation rate is very low. Very low.
You don't make the cut, you're going to be transformed into an eel.
Well, it's eel. It's eel, unfortunately, is the only way to go for them.
Just 2 options. Graduate or.
And later we learn Yennefer, she's got quarter elf blood.
She does,
and that's what makes her
she
all
confides
fucking
in,
gangly.
Yep.
Istrid, and that guy ends up being a prick. But
yeah, I know. The whole time he was spying on her.
Yeah.
It's a terrible thing.
And not only that, but we get introduced to Jaskier, the bard in this, whose name is Dandelion in the game. But Dandelion in Polish is Jaskier.
Oh, okay.
Isn't that weird? So they went with that name for the show.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
Yeah, if you're trying to confuse everyone watching.
Very true.
So I had to look up who this guy was. I'm like, man, this got to be Dandelion. But yeah, so we get introduced to him. He's a smooth talking, great set of pipes on the guy.
He does, but no one appreciates him
No.
at the bar. No one appreciates good talent.
Boy likes to do two things. He likes to sing and he likes to fuck your wife.
Well, yeah, that is
And
very
people
true.
aren't taken too kindly of that.
Well, it's understandable.
But yeah, we get introduced to him, and him and Geralt gang up. It's the perfect duo. Geralt absolutely hates him.
Yep.
It's the mismatch.
It is.
But while they're doing that, they get encountered by a Sylvan, which is like a forest creature or something. Ugly mother named Torque, who knocks out Geralt, and Geralt ends up talking to like some fucking elves. And the elves,
I guess they were like former king and queen or something.
Oh,
like that?
he's the king of the elves. Now he's living in a fucking cave. And what's something this show does is, and a big thing in The Witcher, this game series too, is like it deals with like racism, with like how they treat the elves and the dwarves and shit like that, and sexism obviously too, or how women in this show are pretty much just there to have kids. I mean, they really get into that in one episode.
Yeah, they do. Yeah,
But that's a big thing in the show, or the show and the game as well, is like how they treat elves. They treat elves very like horrible in the series.
That's awful.
For no reason. But
Poor elves.
well, yeah, we learn about that in this episode
Yeah.
because he talks to the king, fucking Filavlanger, the Elven king, and he's talking about how they forced all of his people out, and now they're living in like these caves, these dead lands, no food, no nothing. And Geralt pretty much tells him just to go, just to get out. And it's pretty shitty for him. There's no, there's no really
easy way around that.
I know. And they pretty much have no choice, but they got to do it. They end up letting Jaskier and Geralt live because they just no point in killing him. Because Geralt, and they figure out Geralt, he's not really human. He's not really a monster. He hates humans. He's
neutral on everything, so they realize he's not going to be a threat.
Yeah, and he feels for the monster, where all humans are pretty much kill first, ask
questions later. Yeah.
Geralt, he feels for the monsters because he's treated like a monster, and we see that whenever he goes to like a bar or something, they're like feeding him like piss water and shit like that. They can't even drink. So that's episode 2. Episode 3, Betrayer of the Moon. We get more of Yennefer. She's in episode 2 we forgot Ciri escapes to a refugee camp where she meets Dara, an elf boy.
The elf boy. Yeah.
And he was like the help or something.
Yeah, and at first like he wasn't talking, and then all of a sudden we find out he can talk. I was like, what the? That was
well, we find out at first we don't know he's an elf either, and then we find out later when and they're like, grossed out by it. Yeah. Again, very racist people.
Seriously,
extremely racist. So Yennefer, she's getting on for their training. At first she sucks at it, but then she kind of finds out she's just good at manipulating people.
Yeah, she's real good at that.
So
Grade A.
So I guess it's what you need to be a good wizard, because they're all for it.
They are.
She ends up watching all of her classmates, and some of them were nice to her, get turned to fucking eels. And she's fine with it.
Well,
She's just got to have that hump gone. That's what she wants. It's the big thing.
It's all about her. Let's not mistake. Yennefer has been all about her the whole time.
So it's graduation day, right? For the wizards. And they're all going to be sent to their kingdoms, because when you graduate, you get sent and you like work for a king.
Yes.
And they're going to send Yennefer. She thinks she's going to get sent to Eärendil, but then they end up tricking her, or they end up pulling it at the last second and saying she's being sent to Nilfgaard, which at this point, Nilfgaard is just a fiery kingdom that hasn't started invading anyone yet. So she's pissed that she's going to be sent to Nilfgaard, and she ends up missing graduation, and ends up going in for like a early transformation or something like that.
Yeah, an early operation.
So she skipped the graduation and she gets transformed, but when they transform her, they tell her that she can never bear kids again.
Yeah.
You can lose the hump, but you can't have kids. And she says, yeah, fuck it, I'm good with that.
She gets her uterus pulled out.
Yeah. It's a tough operation.
Without any sedatives or anything.
Yeah, she could have been under too, and she says no. She just doesn't go for it.
Face
She
the
says,
thing.
keep the scars and keep the eyes, because she's got wild eyes.
She does.
She's got
They're like
purple eyes. You don't
yeah.
see that very often.
You
Of
don't.
course, you
It's
have to
very
keep that.
rare.
And yeah, but they're also pissed that she missed the graduation. But but yeah, she gets fucking the super makeover of her life, man.
Yeah, she does.
Turns super hot.
Reminds me of Anne Hathaway in Princess Diaries.
Yeah, if Anne Hathaway had a fucking giant hump on her back and was kicked in by a horse when she was 12. It's a transformation for sure.
It definitely is.
It's a glow up, like the kids say.
Yeah.
But yeah, so she's pissed though that she still has to go to Nilfgaard because Nilfgaard sucks. They're fucking downers, those guys.
They're not fun people to be around.
They're like a young Germany where you just tell that they're right about to fucking start some shit. So no one wants to go.
No one wants to be associated
But
with
she ends
that.
up tricking them, or she ends up not tricking him. She just talks to the king of Aerdern, and the guy loves her because he's like from her kingdom.
Right.
And then he ends up making the wizard or the mage that was going to go with him, ends up making her go to Nilfgaard. And she just ends up becoming like the biggest fucking warlock of all time.
I know.
This was like refusing. I keep doing German
References,
but this was like refusing Hitler into art school because she goes to Nilfgaard and then she just becomes a big thorn in the rest. She's taken
for
over
like
the world.
30 years, yeah.
Yeah. And she ends up fighting Trisha at one point. But yeah, so it's a tough for her. She gets
is.
what sucks. She gets no say. She's a very little character at this point. But yeah, so Yennefer ends up going to her dream school or dream kingdom, which is Aerdern, but not too happy to the Brotherhood of Mages. They're kind of pissed about it because she wasn't supposed to do that. Oh, and we meet Trish Marigold for the first time, and Geralt fights that creepy little unborn child thing, the Striga or whatever. It's
Oh, the
called.
Striga. Yeah, that was right. That was a good. I like that a lot. That battle scene. That was
That was
probably
awesome.
my favorite one
That
of
was
the
awesome,
series.
yeah.
Yeah, it was cool.
Where he's got to bring the guy in there,
Yeah, and he's got to go into the crypt and hide so the sunlight can come out.
and he's got to fight her all fucking night.
Yeah, until dawn.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was crazy.
That was awesome. That was really
Yeah, those
cool.
were really good scenes,
Yeah.
though.
And we meet Trish Marigold, another wizard who's a big character in the game and the books. She kind of helps him out, and they kind of fight this scene together. But man, that was a tough fight.
Yeah, it was.
Fuck. But that guy, 'cause it was like the unborn daughter of a king, or it was like the unborn granddaughter of the king, because the guy tricked his wife or his sister was having an affair or some shit, something like that. But the guy
I thought
that
he was into his sister,
well,
the king, and that was their daughter, and that's why he cursed him.
no, the king was the older guy. You know, the big guy with the great, deep, gravelly voice.
Uh-huh.
And then his daughter had the baby, which was the Striga, was the unborn baby, but she was cursed because of the brother or whatever. I don't know if his... I don't know.
About the affair
the
between
courtier.
Foltest and his sister.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. That's not... But Folsted wasn't the king, was he?
Yeah, I think Foltest wasn't he?
I don't know. Anyways, it's an unborn
Maybe
fucking
not. Yeah, I
little
don't know.
demon thing. But
Right.
yeah, we don't know about it. But yeah, that's when we end up meeting Trish Marigold. But what I was just getting at is Ostrid, the guy who cursed him, was the guy he brings in there who he like gets her to come out and gets his gut ripped out.
Mm-hmm.
That was brutal.
It was.
All right, end of episode 3. Episode 4 of Banquets, Bastards, and Burials. Episode 4 starts with... it starts with Yennefer after serving 30 years. Goes forward in time 30 years. She's on her way. She's escorting the Queen Callis of Lyria. She's got a baby. They're attacked by assassins. All because she can't have she keeps having girls.
She does. The king's tired of it, so he sent an assassin to kill her. Said, enough is enough. I'm moving on.
You got to go. You got to Henry VIII it.
You do.
I mean, you can't just stick to the same woman if it's not profitable. You
It's
got
not
to.
gonna work.
You
It's
can
not
only
gonna
have so
work.
many years. So get her out. Get a new one in. Yeah, they sends an assassin. This assassin's pretty fucking crazy. He's got like
Yeah,
this
he is.
weird kind of fucking
Bug thing, like cricket.
bug, cockroach, cricket thing, and that thing is a killing machine.
It is.
It goes through like 13 guys pretty quick.
Real quick.
They barely get away. Well, the queen doesn't get away.
No, she does not.
She's sacrificing the baby.
Yeah, she could have got away if she didn't call Yennefer a bitch. A worthless bitch or whatever she called her.
It was the heat of the moment, but
it
yeah.
was. But I mean, you know what? This lady's trying
Yennefer
everything
just said,
to
I'm
save
out of here.
you. Yeah. And you're not going to.
And she also ended up trying to sacrifice the baby.
Yeah, real shit move.
So she had things coming. So
yeah, she did.
But it's unfortunate for Yennefer because she escapes with the baby, but
the baby's dead.
At the last moment, the assassin throws a dagger and slices the baby up.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, and it's crushing for Yennefer because, at this point, all she wants to do is have kids. She's looking away to get that uterus back.
Yep.
She had this baby right here. This could have been her baby.
It was literally right in the palm of her hands.
No one wanted that baby. It's a free baby.
You don't find too many of those.
They're not hard, or they're not easy to come by.
Yeah,
unless you're walking around the forest.
You find kids in the forest.
Then you find kids in the forest all the time. But it's soul crushing for her, and it kind of it starts, or it's the beginning of the end, like the episode is called, of Yennefer's career at the kingdom. Very
shallow grave she dug that baby in. I was like, you couldn't have made that any deeper. It's like she just put a little sand over its face, and I'm like,
you just got to get in and out, though.
Yeah, I know.
You're not.
But again, it's not like you're digging a big grave. It's not very wide. It's for a little baby. You could have dug it at least 3 feet.
Well, I mean, on the other side of that, she could have just hooked it into the ocean and said, "Okay, I'm out of here."
That's true. Yeah.
So at least she did give it the mob treatment of giving the baby a very
shallow grave.
Shallow grave. But so then Geralt and Jaskier go to a fucking feast, super sweet feast. It gets interrupted by this little Sonic the Hedgehog guy. And
that's what I was like, what in the hell is going on here?
He was cursed,
of
course.
Cursed, yes.
In these times, you can't cut someone off. You can't do anything because the curses are flying left and right.
No kidding. Imagine if there were curses available for road rage.
Yeah.
Everyone would be cursed.
Oh, I would be a fucking little giraffe man or something like that. I'd be turned into a million different creatures. But yeah, this hedgehog creature, his name is Dunny. It's a cute name.
Oh, that's cute.
But he's strong as hell.
He is.
The hedgehog,
a great swordsman.
Yeah, the hedgehog, I don't know if it's a particularly strong animal, but it gave him super strength.
It did.
And but he comes in and he demands from Queen Calanthe, who we saw earlier.
Yep.
Flashback coming in and back. And super confusing still. We don't know what's going on.
Yeah, and still don't know exactly what the law of surprise means.
Law of surprise, man. That means you
surprise someone?
No, you save a dude and he can't give you anything right there. So you go, okay. It's the thing of what they say, you have mine, which I don't have. It's the thing once you get your daughter, it belongs to that guy now.
Oh, so it's always the daughter. It's not like a cool Mercedes Benz or something like that. Like it always has to be the daughter.
It's the unborn kid. It's because it's his it's his that is which not his. So what? So that he doesn't have it yet.
Right.
So you don't know. Maybe you'll never even have a kid. So you maybe don't have to give him up. But it's a weird thing.
law. Yeah, I think if I had to have the law of surprise, I just wouldn't have any kids. I don't want to have to give them up to some random person.
But then you could have one. Then you could have 10 kids, and you still have 9 kids left.
That's true.
You're giving one away.
You just got to feel bad for the one. But I mean,
in this day and age, when they're just dropping kids off in the forest,
yeah, to be witchers and mages. Yeah, good point. Yeah, they're probably not too concerned.
Guys are selling their hunchback daughters for 2.5 cents. It's a wild time. So
it is. Good point.
So yeah, it's the law of surprise. That's what. So he saved the king. The king didn't have his checkbook on him. Said, "Yikes! I owe you. Give me on the back here. When I got a daughter, she's yours."
Okay.
And I think it's like a magical thing too, where like the daughter like automatically is in love with the guy or something like that.
Oh, okay.
So, now Dunny is there to claim the law of surprise. And that's why they're all there. That's why all the kingdoms are there. They're there to marry Calanthe's daughter, Pavetta, who's Ciri's mom.
Right.
They're all there. They're all bidding for, classic kingdom shit. So this guy says,
the highest bidder.
I'll give you 4 horses. The next guy says, I'll give you something else. Nilfgaard comes in, they just laugh their asses off at him. Remember the
Yeah,
guy
they
keeps
did.
playing bagpipes every time he's about to talk? It's a classic bit, but
Well, she just roasts him too.
Yeah, I know.
Calanthe, she just roasts him. She's like, "What? There's gonna be a new king next week there."
yeah.
Brutal.
And now they're all regretting it as
Yeah, of
Nilfgaard
course.
slits the throats of every man, woman, and child as they sweep the nation.
Do not piss off Nilfgaard.
So Dunny goes there. He fights. Geralt defends him also.
Yep.
He's indebted also. Now he's got to do the Law of Surprise because Dunny promises he saved his life. So now Geralt's got a right to a daughter also. It gets confusing.
Everyone just gets
It gets
rights to
confusing.
daughters.
It gets confusing. You might want to write it down or something.
Yeah,
'cause
seriously. At this point, how many
Yeah.
how many laws
How many
of
daughters do I
surprises
got
you
going
get?
out?
Yeah. He's like, shit. Soon I'm gonna have one for every day of the week.
Yeah, I'm indebted $4. I got to get in the black here. So, anyways, and it's like Geralt does it like on the way out as like a joke too, like how can I repay you? You're like, oh fuck, Law of Surprise, and then everyone's like, haha, and then fucking immediately Pavada turns around, throws up, immediately pregnant.
Yep.
Then Geralt is like, oh fuck, now I got to take care of this fucking kid.
He's like, oh shit.
So, it doesn't even show Dunny's reaction. He's probably like, fuck, I didn't think that'd be so fast.
yeah.
My first daughter. Anyways, so that happens. It was a big fight, big brutal fight in the kingdom, but that is how Geralt and Ciri's life are intertwined. It's just all by dads
Just giving their daughters
just
up.
giving their daughter away.
Just willy-nilly.
Zero say. Daughter
Law
has got
surprise.
zero.
What do you need? You need a law of surprise? 2 orders of law and surprise over here. Okay, so
How much for that chicken? I don't have any money, but what I do have
a lot of
possibly
surprise.
is a daughter I can give you. Meet me in 10 years in the forest. I'm going to drop this kid off. Yeah, kids are just like a dealing, like a poker chip in this.
right, exactly. It's just currency.
They're an asset.
Yeah.
But that is the end of episode 4.
Yes,
Banquets and Banquets, Bastards, and Burials. At the very end, Ciri and Dara still trying to escape. They run into the forest and they find Queen Ethne, who is a dryad in the Brooklyn forest, and that's pretty much it. She kind of takes her in, kind of tells her, we don't know right now, but she tells her, you're going to drink this little potion and it's going to make you forget
Everything.
Yeah, like I guess they just roofie people that come in there. And then I don't know what they do with them. Like, I don't know if they just let them wander off or keep them in the village or what. But all it says, you drink this and you just fucking forget.
Right.
Forget
Maybe they just
everything.
want him to be one of the soldiers.
Yeah, it's very possible. But that is the end of episode 4. That's the end of part 1 of The Witcher TV Tuesday.
Yes.
Next week, we will do 5 through 8.
And I got to say, fantastic job of going through that, Cash.
I tried. I wrote down some notes.
This was really a lot for me.
It can be confusing. There's a lot of characters,
moving pieces.
But I think it's just as confusing as Game of Thrones was for me.
Yeah, it wasn't. Like,
I think
don't know.
I think there's even less characters in The Witcher than there's. Really, you got to remember 3 characters: Ciri, Geralt, and Yennefer.
When you're right, in a lot of ways, I felt like this was I could definitely see the video game in this because it felt like every episode was its own adventure.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, even like in a video game where it's like, move to this place, move to this place. Oh, there's an extra thing you can do on the map. I felt like that's what this was.
Well, that's true, but that's pretty much how any story is go here, go this, especially a venture story. But yeah. I like that they did to where it didn't become just like a mission of good for him, where he was still like through every episode going and hunting monsters. Yeah. Because, that's what his job. That's what he does. And he does. And we get, and again, I liked the effects and the practical effects because we get a ton of different monsters in this. And it's super cool.
Yeah.
They all look really
great.
good. Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Alrighty, well, that is our review for The Witcher Part 1, Episodes 1 through 4. If you guys like what you've seen here and you're watching on YouTube, be sure to like this video, comment below, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell notification as we drop videos here every single day. If you're listening in audio format, Spotify, iTunes, SoundCloud, Google Play, and Stitcher, social media pages, Twitter, Seen a Podcast, Cash is on Twitter, that's just Cash, Instagram, Have You Seen It, Facebook, Have You Seen a Podcast. Thank you so much for watching and listening. My name is Mason Knight, that is Cash Krause, and until next time.
Bye.